AI never sleeps, and this has been yet another insane week in the world of AI. We have an AI that can reconstruct a 3D video. Nvidia released an AI that can create 3D mesh models. We have a ton of updates for AI video, plus we have a new AI that can taste, and a lot more, so let's jump right in. First up, this project is really cool. It's called Monster, spelt like this. And here's what it does. It takes a regular video as input and recreates a 3D world just from that video. It figures out where objects are in 3D space, and as the video moves around, it even figures out where the camera is and how it's moving. So here's how it works. Monster creates something called a time-varying dynamic point cloud. Imagine taking a bunch of photos of a room while people are moving around, and then it basically uses these photos to make a 3D model of the room that shows how things change over time. That's kind of what Monster does with this dynamic point cloud. And here's why it's so special. It actually does this really quickly. So Monster works in a feed-forward way, which basically means it processes the video very quickly without having to go back and forth too much. Unlike some other 3D modeling systems, which can only generate stationary stuff, Monster can deal with things that are moving in the video. And so they've actually added an interactive demo page where you can actually look at some of its generations and you can use the WASD keys to move around. So here is the actual video over here, and you can see if I move around, it actually reconstructs the video in this 3D space. Here's another example. Plus, this tool is very versatile, so the 3D information that Monster can generate can be used for different things like figuring out how far things are in a video or separating moving objects from stationary objects in the video. And in terms of real-world applications, here's what this technology could be potentially used for. You can use this to, for example, develop virtual reality or augmented reality apps, or this can also be used to help robots navigate rooms with moving objects, or this could also be used in surveillance technologies. Pretty cool stuff. Alright, next we have this free tool which is super useful. This is called Posterior Mean Rectified Flow, or PMRF. And I'll go over how this works in a second, but actually let's try this out right now. So they have a free Hugging Face space where you can use this. This is basically a free tool for you to restore any image of a face. So imagine you have a very blurry or damaged or very old photo and you want to restore it. Well, that's what this tool can do. So I'll link to this Hugging Face space in the description below where you can try it out for free. All you need to do is upload a photo, and then here, this checkbox is if the input image is aligned and it's a square image. So you can see here the image is square plus the face is aligned. In other words, it's at the center of the image. So you would check this box, and then all these settings, I just leave it at the default. And then if you click submit, here is what you get. Here's another example of a very blurry photo. And yes, this is a square image. The face is aligned in the center. And here is what we get as the output. Here's another example. In this case, there's not just one face. The face is not aligned in the center. So we have this checkbox empty. And then you can see here is the restored version. Not perfect, but it's pretty good. I mean, this is a free tool. You can use this to restore old or damaged photos. All right, so here's how it works. Again, this approach is called Posterior Mean Rectified Flow, or PMRF for short. First, it makes its best guess at what the original image looked like. It does this by predicting the posterior mean, which is basically the average of all possible restorations given the degraded input. Then it tries to make this prediction even more accurate by using this rectified flow model to transform this prediction into a higher quality image that matches the distribution of real images. So for example, here's the input. After going through this posterior mean process, this is what you get. And then after doing this rectified flow method, this is what you get. And here's the ground truth. So here's the original photo, and you can see it's pretty accurate. Plus, there's actually more you can do with this. It doesn't just restore blurry or grainy photos. You can also use this to color photos. So here is a very grainy and black and white photo. And after applying this method, here's what you get. So again, here's before, here is after. Pretty incredible. You can also use this for inpainting. So here is a very grainy image with a lot of missing pixels. So after applying this method, here's what you get. All right, so here's before, here is after. Here's before, here's after. How cool is that? You can, of course, also use this to denoise images. So here's an image with a lot of noise. And after applying this method, here's what you get. So here's before, here's after. And then finally, of course, you can also use this as an upscaler, or basically use it to deblur images. So here's a really pixelated image. Here's before, here's after. Again, here's before, here's after. It's pretty impressive how it can take this and turn it into this. So I mean, with this free technology, I think other paid tools like Topaz or Photoshop, they're in big trouble. In other news, there has been some cool updates in the world of AI video generation. For Runway Gen 3 Turbo, you can now upload 2 photos, one for the first frame and one for the last frame of the video, and it would fill in the blanks. So this gives you even more control on how you want the video to be. And here's another update from what I think is the best and free AI video generator right now, Minimax. And actually, it's not going to be free anymore. They've actually finally rolled out a pricing structure. And so they do have a free plan, which you get like a few bonus tokens for logging in every day. And then their standard plan is still pretty cheap. It's only $9.99. This is way cheaper compared to Runway Gen 3. And they've also added an image to video feature. So over here, you can upload an image. So I'm going to use this meme image. And then you can either add in a prompt to guide the video further or just leave it blank and then click generate. And this is what you get. Oh, she is pissed. I think they're going to get into a cat fight or something. And again, using image as your start frame for the video gives you way more control than just text to video where there's a lot of trial and error. So I think this feature is super powerful. Another top video generator, Kling, has introduced their lip sync feature. Plus, they've updated this with text to speech. That means you don't even need to record a voice. You can just simply type in text and then choose a voice from their interface, and it would make the person in your video speak the text. So let's try this out. Here, let's say we have this video, and right now it's silent, right? But you can click lip sync here, and then let's choose a female voice. Let's play some of these.
Come on, bestie. Let's go for a bike ride and explore the new ice cream shop. Hey, big bro. You look stressed. Good morning, world. It's a beautiful day to chase our dreams.
Why do these all sound like kids?
This indie film festival looks fascinating. Shall we go and broaden our cinematic horizons?
All right, let's go with melody. So I'm going to choose melody, and then let's type in some text. All right, so I'm going to type in, remember to subscribe to this channel for the latest and coolest updates in AI. And then let's click play.
Remember to subscribe to this channel for the latest and coolest updates in AI.
Perfect. So let's click lip sync and see what that gives us. All right, our video is ready. Let's play this.
Remember to subscribe to this channel for the latest and coolest updates in AI.
Pretty cool, pretty cool. And this seems very natural to me. So here's the before. And here's the after.
Remember to subscribe to this channel for the latest and coolest updates in AI.
Very neat. And this does lip sync the text and the audio to this video of a woman. So again, very powerful tool. We have entered a new era of filmmaking where anyone can just direct and create their own short film on their laptop. We don't need any actors, any props, any special effects, any cameras. We can just generate everything with AI. In other news, also this week, the Nobel Prizes were announced for this year. Now, there is no Nobel Prize in AI or computer science, because these topics didn't exist back then when the Nobel Prize was created, but this year 2 major names in AI have won Nobel Prizes. The first guy is Geoffrey Hinton, and he was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics. Now, Geoffrey Hinton is often regarded as the godfather of AI, and he has made many early contributions to artificial neural networks and deep learning. For example, he co-created a method for allowing neural networks to learn from their mistakes, and this is crucial for training all the AI models that we use today. Now, after winning the Nobel Prize, he actually spoke in an interview, and there was a lot of fluff there, but here's a really interesting snippet from the interview.
I'd also like to acknowledge my students. I was particularly fortunate to have many very clever students, much cleverer than me, who actually made things work. They've gone on to do great things. I'm particularly proud of the fact that one of my students fired Sam Altman. And I think I better leave it there and leave it for questions.
Now, the student that he was referring to is actually Ilya Sutskever. So yes, he is actually one of Jeffrey's students, and Ilya is one of the top AI scientists in the world. And he was the one who at least tried to fire Sam Altman back in November. And now he is kind of left OpenAI and has started his own company called Safe Superintelligence. Anyways, this statement by Jeffrey was kind of out of place. I mean, he didn't have to call out Sam Altman in the interview. This was just an interview about, him winning the Nobel Prize. But he did, and it just seems kind of weird to me. Let me know what you think of this in the comments below. The other major person in AI to win a Nobel Prize is Demis Hassabis. He was awarded a Nobel Prize in chemistry, and I'm personally a big fan of him. This guy is an absolute beast, and he absolutely deserves a Nobel Prize. Now, if you're not familiar with Demis, here's a really quick summary of his background. This guy started playing chess at the very young age of 4, and by the time he was 13, he already became a chess master. In fact, he was ranked number 2 in the world for his age group at that time. He later started a company called DeepMind, and their initial goal was to just make an AI that can play video games very well. DeepMind later got acquired by Google, so now it's called Google DeepMind, but Demis still remains in DeepMind building cool stuff, and they've actually done some incredible things. For example, they made AlphaGo, which is an AI that crushed the world's best Go player. And Go is a very hard game with many strategic possibilities, and at that time, nobody thought that AI could beat the best human player. They later created AlphaZero, which is even better. Not only can it crush the best human players in Go, but it can also beat everyone in chess and shogi only after a few days of playing with itself and improving using reinforcement learning. They also made AlphaStar, which beat the best StarCraft players in the world. They also made AlphaProof and AlphaGeometry, which are AIs that can solve international math Olympiad problems, which is like an Olympics but for math. Yes, there's an Olympics for math, and these are some of the most challenging math problems in the world, but this AI can solve them. They also made AlphaFold, and this is truly revolutionary. This is an AI that can predict how proteins fold together, and just recently they released AlphaFold 3, which not only predicts the structures and interactions of proteins, but all other molecules of life, including DNA, RNA, ligands, and more. And AlphaFold has done a lot of incredible things already. It has helped scientists discover enzymes that can break down plastic, or find treatments for liver cancer, or find vaccines for malaria, just to name a few examples. Thanks to iThor for sponsoring this video. iThor is a powerful AI assistant designed to enhance academic and creative writing. This versatile tool addresses common challenges faced by writers. One of iThor's standout features is it can automatically add references to your text, following standard citation formats like APA and MLA. This feature saves a ton of time. Also, iThor can help generate topics and a table of contents, which can provide you with inspiration and help fight writer's block. And if you're concerned about the authenticity of AI-generated content, iThor has got you covered. They have a built-in AI content detector, which helps you assess the likelihood of text being identified as AI-generated. Plus, they have an AI disguise tool, which you can use to refine your text and make it sound more human and less AI. Now, of course, each person has their own unique writing style, so wouldn't it be great if there was an AI that could actually write in your style? Well, iThor also has a personalization feature which helps you adjust generated text to match your own writing style. All of these features work together to help you write content that is natural, authentic, and accurate. Visit iThor via the link in the description below and see how it can supercharge your writing. Unlock more features using my code AISearch10 to receive 10% off. And if this wasn't enough, they also recently released Alpha Proteo, which not only predicts protein structures, but it actually helps you discover and create new proteins. And this can be so useful for finding cures or drugs for various diseases, or finding enzymes for various applications. So anyways, Demis and DeepMind has done some really world-changing stuff, to say the least. And winning a Nobel Prize is very well deserved. Now, it was kind of strange to me, at least, that he was awarded a prize in chemistry, since most of his contributions might be more relevant to biology or medicine. But anyways, the fact that this year, 2 major AI guys have won Nobel Prizes really shows how important and revolutionary AI is right now. This isn't just some sci-fi thing anymore. It's real and having real impact on the world, including physics, medicine, chemistry, and biology. If there's one thing you should take away from this and all my videos, it's don't die. Try not to die within the next 5 years, because things are going to be amazing. Alright, next up, Nvidia releases this AI called edgerunner, and this is a game changer for creating 3D models. Now, there are already plenty of AI tools out there that can output 3D models. For example, all these tools from Stability, such as Stable Fast 3D, Stable Video 4D, Stable 0, 1, 2, 3, these can all output 3D models. And then Meta's 3D Asset Gen can also output 3D models from a text prompt or from an image. But none of these produce meshes like a human modeler would, and that severely limits what you can do with these. With a mesh model, a human can further refine these objects if they wanted to. Well, finally, Nvidia has built this AI model that can produce 3D models with a mesh structure. So this model is called Autoregressive Autoencoder, or RAE for short. I don't even know how you would pronounce this. Anyways, this model can create high-quality 3D meshes that have up to 4,000 flat surfaces or faces with a spatial resolution of 512. Now, you can either input a 3D point cloud or an image as input. Now, FYI, a 3D point cloud looks like this, and it's basically a set of 3D coordinates that represent the surface of an object, but they kind of lack connectivity information. So this AI is able to take this sparse point data and produce a fully connected triangular mesh model. So it's essentially filling the gaps between the points to create this 3D model. Here's another example. Here's a point cloud of this girl, and you can see it has pretty accurately created a 3D mesh model of this girl. Here's an example of this cowboy hat, and here is the 3D mesh reconstruction of this hat. Here is, what is this? Like a face? Okay, it's a face of someone with some sort of crown. And here is the mesh reconstruction. Very nice, very nice. And as I said a moment ago, it can also take in an image and also create a 3D mesh from that. So here are some examples. Now, creating a 3D model from just a 2D image is quite challenging because it requires inferring or guessing some of the information from the photo. For example, we don't know what's behind this barrel here, so the AI just kind of has to guess, but it kind of guesses it quite well. So here's the 3D mesh model that it can generate. Here's another example. This is from just one image of a giraffe, and it can create a pretty accurate 3D mesh model of the giraffe. Here's another example of a chess piece of a camel, and again, this is pretty impressive. You can see it can even correctly guess the bottom of the chess piece and the other side of the chess piece. Here is another example of this hammer. So overall, a pretty impressive tool. Anyways, there are more examples you can play around with. I'll link to this page in the description below if you want to check this out further. In other news, scientists at Penn State University have created an AI-powered tongue that can identify subtle differences in food. Yes, AI now has taste. So here are the details. This electronic tongue combines a special sensor with an AI model, which was trained on how the human brain perceives taste. So we perceive taste via this gustatory cortex region of the brain. So they basically trained an AI that mimics this process and mimics how the human brain understands taste. And this essentially enables the AI to also have a sense of taste. And this AI tongue can correctly identify differences in similar liquids. So for example, it can identify milk with varying degrees of dilution. It can identify different soda types and even different coffee blends. And if you ask me to identify different types of coffee, I have no idea. I mean, I just like coffee overall. Anyways, it can also identify when fruit juices are going bad, and also other instances of food safety concerns. And it does this pretty quickly, so it can identify things in around a minute. And it was able to achieve over 95% accuracy in identifying these samples. So, of course, this technology could have major implications for the food industry. For example, it can be used for food safety and quality control. We can potentially use these AI tongues to detect when certain foods go bad, or we can also use these tongues to test out different new products and come up with one that has the best taste. This unleashes a ton of new possibilities. In other news, Tesla introduced its long-awaited autonomous robotaxi called the Cybercab. It's a full self-driving vehicle with no steering wheel or pedals. The crazy thing is, it's expected to cost under $30,000, which is pretty affordable. Elon says that these robotaxis will have no plug for charging and will instead charge inductively. They will be cleaned by machines, and a world of autonomous vehicles will turn parking lots into parks. At least that's his vision. And they plan for it to be available before 2027. Alongside the Cybercab, Tesla also unveiled a larger autonomous vehicle called the Robovan. And this is capable of transporting up to 20 people. This is designed for high-density transport, like moving lots of people at once and reducing travel costs. They also had some Optimus robots just casually walking around the event, plus another Optimus bot serving drinks.
You want to get a photo?
Yeah, for sure. Let's do it. Little video. Hey. Sweet. Thanks, man. Bro. Appreciate it.
Of course, anytime.
All right.
How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing?
Tremendous. Doing good.
Yeah,
I think,
peace, everybody.
How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Nice.
I love the change. How's everybody doing?
Doing good. All right.
Then step right up.
Can I have a watermelon fogarita?
A watermelon?
Yeah.
Of course you can.
Hey, what's up?
How am I doing so far?
Killing it.
Notice how natural the robot moves, plus you can even talk to it and it responds back. Now there are claims that this was just teleoperated, in other words, someone was controlling this robot behind the scenes. Now we of course don't know the truth unless you're working there, but let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think this is just teleoperated? And by the way, here are a few other examples of people talking to these Optimus robots.
It's insane, it's even talking.
Hi to my friend John.
John? Where's John?
Right here.
Oh, hello, John.
How are you?
How are you doing? Very good.
That's crazy. I'm
Where
talking
are
to a
you from,
robot.
John?
From San Jose. Probably
San
from where
Jose?
you were born in
That's
Silicon Valley.
Wonderful. Where do you live in San Jose? Do you
Lo-
live in Almond Valley, or do you live in
Ye-
Santa Teresa area?
No, I live in Los Gatos.
Los Gatos. Oh, wonderful. Very
Yeah.
nice area.
Where do you live?
Beautiful hiking I hear out there.
There is. Where do you live?
I live in Palo Alto at the current moment.
Figures. Yeah, this is awesome.
That's where they train us. That's where we get our builds, and that's where we work with a wonderful group of people.
What's the hardest thing about being a robot?
trying to learn how to be as human as you guys are. And that's something I try harder to do every day, and I hope that you will help us become that way.
Well, awesome. Nice to meet you, Optimus.
In other news, we have a new open source video generator this week called Pyramid Flow, and it's pretty good. This is the best open source video generator out there right now. So as you can see from the results, it's not quite up to par with like Sora or Kling yet, but it's getting really close now. And I think in a few months, we can have an open source video generator that we can run locally on consumer grade hardware. And this is really impressive considering that previously open source video generators were pretty awful. So the best one we had before this was Cog Video, and I mean this one is decent, but it's still pretty bad quality compared to the proprietary video generators we have such as Runway and Kling. However, Pyramid Flow comes pretty close. This is a step above Cog Video. And the awesome thing is they've already released the code, so if you have good enough hardware, you could potentially run this locally on your computer. Now, I already did a full video on this, so I'm not going to repeat too much here. Check out this video if you haven't already. In other news, it looks like OpenAI is looking to reduce their dependence on Microsoft's servers for compute. So here's an article from The Information earlier this year. It seems like OpenAI has started exploring new options to set up their own data centers. OpenAI's CFO, Sarah Friar, said that Microsoft isn't moving fast enough to supply computing to OpenAI, which is pretty ridiculous to think about. I mean, Microsoft has arguably one of the biggest data centers in the world already. So saying that Microsoft isn't moving fast enough is kind of insane and gets you wondering, well, how much compute does OpenAI want? How quickly are they aiming to scale? Anyways, it seems that OpenAI is planning to lease an entire data center in Texas from Oracle, so it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. In addition to data centers, OpenAI is also developing its own AI chip, so this could also reduce their reliance on Nvidia chips, which they currently use to develop and run AI models. Anyways, that sums up the news and highlights in AI this week. Let me know in the comments what you think of all of this. As always, I will be on the lookout for the top AI news and tools to share with you. So if you enjoyed this video, remember to like, share, subscribe, and stay tuned for more content. Also, there's just so much happening in the world of AI every week. I can't possibly cover everything on my YouTube channel. So to really stay up to date with all that's going on in AI, be sure to subscribe to my free weekly newsletter. The link to that will be in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.